All right, fourth graders, it's your boy, Mr. Remedies, back with another week of reading mini lessons here on Schoology. This week, we are tackling some things your teachers like to call spiral review. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to be heading into star push territory. So we are going to give you some strategies, some tips, and some tricks to really attack these star reading tests and really help yourself be successful. Right, so today we're in our spiral review, part one. We're going to learn how to trap a star reading passage. As always, we have a learning goal and success criteria, so let's head over and see what those are now. Our learning goal today is that we are learning to engage with the text using the first steps in the trap strategy. Right? Along the way, you're going to be able to say some I can statements to yourself, like I can describe what trap stands for. I can identify a passage's title. I can identify and interpret text features within a passage. I can predict an author's purpose via text features and by skimming the passage. If we can hit those four things along the way, boom, I know you guys will have mastered your learning goal. So let's talk about what trap stands for. If you notice, I keep saying the word trap, but I got a little it seems like I got a little misspelling here. So when we say we're going to trap a star passage, or any passage for that matter, first things first, we're going to identify the T. T stands for title and author's purpose. The first R stands for read the questions, then read the passage. The A is answer the questions. And then there's the P, which means prove your answers. So when we say trap a star test, we are going to look at all these different strategies and steps so that way we know that when it comes to answering questions, that we're going to be right on top of this and we are going to be very, very successful. All right, so we're going to talk about each one of these in depth throughout the week. Let's start with the first letter, the first step. We're talking about the T. We're learning about title and author's purpose within the trap strategy. So first, you want to read and circle the title of the passage. You want to skim the passage, which is quickly looking through the passage and checking for some information, anything that pops out to us, maybe some words that really jump out to us that we may not know, or maybe unique looking. All right, and we'll do this a little bit more in depth in just a couple moments. After that, we're going to look at the pictures and circle any captions. This is where we are really putting those previous skills of interpreting text features to use here. And finally, we want to determine the author's purpose and write it at the top of the passage, because you know what? Every year on the STAR test, there is at least, and hear me now, at least 1 to 2 questions that have to deal with the author's purpose for writing the passage. So we want to be all over that one. Right? All right, let's put this to the test. Let's give it a try. So here I am giving it a try with a passage that we've seen before in previous lessons. So hopefully this won't be too terribly new to you guys. But I want to apply my trap strategy, the T portion of my trap strategy, to this particular passage. Okay? So at first and foremost, I'm supposed to read and circle the title. Well, I can see here they've done a great job. It's in bold typeface. A dessert with a long history. So then I'm gonna circle that, and I'm gonna write the word title over there, just to keep me focused. And then I'm gonna skim the passage real quick, which is just really kind of glancing through, identifying keywords, anything that maybe sticks out to me. I noticed that we have hundreds of years before. Okay. What else do I see Roman is capitalized, Nero is capitalized. So I'm starting to think in my head, this tells me a little bit about history. Some more places names. There's a date right here, the 1700s. when people came from Europe to America in the 1700s. So in my mind, I'm starting to think, oh, this is some sort of history lesson. This is some sort of informational text. And so I'm going to keep scrolling down, keep looking at the passage. I hear there's a person's name, Nancy Johnson of Pennsylvania, 1840. So I'm still seeing the repetition of different dates, the inclusion of many different dates. Again, 1904, years later in 1920, Harry Burt. Okay, so I'm really starting to become more confident that this is informing me, this is giving me information about something here. And let's see here. Oh, and I noticed quickly that I'm going to start to now go through and look at some of the pictures. Well, at the end of the passage, there seems to be a graph. Okay, very big here. I'm going to circle captions, but here for a graph, I want to circle the title of the graph. Scrolling back through, I want to look at the pictures. This one has a very clearly defined caption. I want to circle that. I want to pay attention to what they're doing in the picture. It looks like they're in a bucket. It looks like they're making something with some sort of machine. And it looks like their style of dress isn't very modern. So I really do think that this is some sort of historical photo that is telling me something about an invention from a long time ago. And then here I see another table and graph. And instead of captions, there's just some quick phrases and information that can be included here. So I see we have some ice. This looks like a bucket with a machine on it. Well, I can see clearly this is an ice cream machine. Waffle cone. Oh, delicious, delicious, delicious ice cream treat. Ice cream on a stick. So I can use this step, our T and Trrap, to kind of get a really good idea about what is going on here. So I think that I have my title circled. I've circled some of the captions on the pictures, and now I want to write author's purpose. Well, I think author's purpose is to inform about ice cream. It looks like, okay. Just based on my skimming, I do think we're going to talk about ice cream, so I'm going to jot that down right up here. All right, this is the first step in Trrap, so let's go towards a review. So as a review, we've started talking about the Trrap strategy for star reading passages. And remember, Trrap stands for titles, the title, read the question, read the passage, answer the questions, improve your answers. Okay, for the first step, the step in Trrap, we're going to read and circle the title of the passage. We're going to skim the passage, which is reading quickly, but really just kind of glancing through and looking for any distinguishable words or patterns or dates, things like that can help us determine what the author's purpose is. Then after we skim the passage, we're going to look at the pictures, read and circle any captions, and all those things help us identify the author's purpose, which we're going to predict and put at the top of the passage. Because as we know, those star tests always have questions about the author's purpose and what the pictures and text features include as well. So let's not get tripped up by those old test questions. All right, guys, you've done fantastic today. As always, I've been Mr. Remedies. You've been those wonderful, wonderful fourth graders all across Copper's Cove. And we will see you down the line.